Welcome to Plan and Practice channel. Today we will see Nios Data Entry Operation Chapter 1 Basics of Computer Part 4. This is the continuation of the previous video for the Chapter 1 Basics of Computer. You can see the previous video of this chapter in my playlist. I have a separate playlist for this lesson. You can go through that in my YouTube channel playlist. Today we will see what are the computer languages. Languages are means of communication. Normally people interact with each other through a language. On the same pattern, communication with computer is carried out through a language. Similarly, in computer also the communication is through the language. As we communicate with other people in a language like Tamil, English, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi. So similarly, the computer also has some language. This language is understood both by the user and the machine. So this language must be common to the user and the machine. Just as every language like English, Hindi has its own grammatical rules, every computer language is bound to rules known as syntax of that language. So every language has some rules. So in computer there is a word called syntax. So that will define the rules of that language, computer language. Syntax means rules of computer language. The user is bound by that syntax while communicating with the computer system. Computer languages are broadly classified as low-level language, machine language, assembly language, high-level language. So low-level language. The term low-level means closeness to the way in which machine understand. The low-level language are machine language, assembly language. In low-level language only this machine language and assembly language comes. It is easily understood by the computer. This is the language in the form of 0 and 1s. Machine language, it is the language in the form of zeros and ones called binary numbers. So binary numbers are 0 and 1 and the machine language will be written in 0 and 1 so that the computer can understand it in a better way. Understood directly by the computer, it is machine dependent. It is difficult to learn, even more difficult to write program. For human, it is difficult to understand write in binary numbers. That is machine language. Then assembly language. This is the language where the machine codes comprising of zeros and ones substituted by symbolic codes called numeric. So this is also 0 and 1, but there is some symbolic code called mnemonics. 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 To improve their understanding. For the better understanding of the computer. It is the first step to improve programming structure. Assembly language programming is the simpler and less time consuming than machine level programming. It is easier to locate and correct errors in assembly language than in machine language program. It is also a machine dependent. Programmers must have knowledge of the machine on which the program will run. So all this is the requirement of assembly language. Then high level language, you know that the low level language requires extensive knowledge of the hardware. High level language, you know that low level language requires extensive knowledge of the hardware since it is machine dependent. To overcome the limitation, high level language has been evolved with uses normal English like easy to understand statements to solve any problem. Higher level languages are computer independent and program becomes quite easy and simple. Various high level languages are given. Basic. Basic is a high level language. What is basic? Beginners all purpose symbolic instruction code. Beginners all purpose symbolic instruction code is called the basic high level language. It is widely used, easy to learn general purpose language, mainly used in microcomputers in earlier days. Next we have COBOL. COBOL is common business oriented language, a standard language used for commercial application, that is COBOL. COBOL. Common business oriented language. Next we have Fortran. Formula translation. This language, Fortran, is a high level language, formula translation language, developed for solving mathematical and scientific problems, one of the most popular languages among scientific community. Next we have C, structured programming language used for all purpose such as scientific application, commercial application, developing games, etc. C++ is a high level language, popular, it is very popular. C++ is a very popular high level language, object oriented programming language used for general purpose. Next we have compiler and assembler. As we all know that high level language is a machine independent and assembly language, though it is a machine dependent. So these languages are independent and assembly language is machine dependent, but it uses mnemonics. Yet mnemonics that are being used to represent instructions are not directly understandable by the machine. Hence, to make the machine understand the instruction provided by both the languages, compiler and assembler are required to convert these instructions into machine language. So the high level language is understandable to the human, the users, but it is difficult for the machine. So a compiler is between used to convert this language into machine language. Similarly, assembler is also used. The software set of programs that leads a program, the software that reads a program written in high level language and translate into equivalent program in machine language is called a compiler. The program written by the programmer in high level language is called source program. The program generated by the compiler after translation is called object program. So we write the program, that is a source program. The compiler converts source program into object program, and that is easily read by the computer. It is easily understandable by the machine because it is a machine language. So source program, compiler converts the source program. What is source program? High level language program. That is a source program. Compiler converts that source program into object program. That is the job of the compiler. The software set of program that reads a program written in assembly language and translate into equivalent program in machine language is called a assembler. What is an assembler? The assembly language uses mnemonics. So the set of program is written for that to convert the mnemonics into equivalent program in machine language, and that is done by the assembler.